Hello, pouring art people. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. This week I'll be doing part 2 of the cloud pour I did last week. So let's get to it. Now I'm layering my colors. This is done on an Artist Loft Level 3 gallery wrapped canvas, size 8x8. And I wanted to do a smaller gallery wrap. I did kind of a large one, which, by the way, I'm going to go back over and modify. I'm not planning on pouring over the entire thing, but I am planning on pouring over part of it. Same colors as last week, which are Liquitex Basics Gold, Liquitex Basics Primary Blue, Liquitex Basics Deep Violet, CoulourArte Prizm Pour Dark Waters, a mix of Artist Loft White Flow Acrylic and DecoArte Satin Enamels. And then later on I use a little bit of the dioxazine purple from Liquitex Basics. And I don't think I used very much of the dioxazine purple either. I think I was worried it would dry too dark, and I didn't have a lot of it. That's the thing about the dioxazine purple. It's beautiful, but it dries so dark it's sometimes almost black. So I will go ahead and list the color order down in the description just in case. Sometimes when somebody's layering a bunch of layers, it's kind of hard to catch it all just watching. So I will go down and list them in the description, along with the link to Canela Sirocco's video where I got the recipe for my colors, and Tammy Anderson's video, which has basically the recipe I used for my cloud pour. Although, if you don't want kind of a cracked ice effect and you're going for more strictly a cloud effect, I don't recommend using the two recipes together. That was a mistake I made that ended up being kind of a happy accident. I liked the look on these two pieces. I would not like it on every cloud pour. I will see if I can dig up the dried or partially dried photo of this and show it to you at the end. I didn't like this one quite as much as the big one at the end, but we'll see. And they're not resined yet. I will probably be resining them in the next week or so, and once I get them resined, if they turn out like I hope they turn out, I will post the results at the beginning of one of my future videos. And I will announce it the week before I post it. That way, if you're paying attention and following me, which you probably aren't because not very many people are yet, you will know what video to watch for it in.
What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark.
Here I'm using my corner catcher. I forgot to explain in my last video what that's about for anybody who's not familiar with pouring. But if you put something along the corners like that, you can tilt your paint all the way to the edge without tilting very much of it off. So it kind of gives you time to decide what part of the design you want to lose going off over the edge. If it's on the very edge, you're gonna lose it sooner or later. You just have to get the excess paint off. But you can kind of preserve more of it by using some kind of quarter catcher, which is most often just a folded piece of cardboard cut off a box, as in this case. And I left part of the tilting regular speed, so anybody who's new to pouring can kind of get a sense of just how slow you have to tilt. But I sped the second half up so you guys didn't have to sit through the whole thing. And this doesn't look like it's going to be much at first because there's just so much white on the top at the beginning, and it's kind of interesting to me. I don't experience it very often where I've got a bunch of white on the top and towards the end of the process I have less white on the top. That's kind of unusual, but that's what happens in this one. So I'm trying to be slow and careful and not get everything all crazy and wonky with my tilt here. And hopefully come out with an effect I like. And I did like this one. I don't get the dropsies on this one, which is a plus. I don't know if my mic's picking it up in the background, but if you hear some background thundery sounds and music, that's my husband playing his movie loudly in another room because the only volume he knows is loud. He would turn it down if I asked him to, but I don't think the mic's gonna pick it up that much, and I'm gonna put background music in, so hopefully if you guys hear it, it will be very, very faint. So now I'm kind of looking it over and deciding what I want to do with it, which way I want to go. The gold in this really kind of sets off this piece. You'll see at the end when I do the close-up. Now, I don't remember exactly why I used the catcher when I tilted it straight towards the side. I would explain that to you, but I don't remember what made me do that. Now that thin milky white film is, I'm kind of getting it off there some, and I think maybe it's sinking, I don't know, but now we're seeing more thick white puffy, more cloud type formations. I'm thinking maybe I'm kind of trying to use it to help make sure my sides get coated, but I didn't do a very good job because I have to do a fair amount of touching up on the sides when I'm done. I scraped a lot of paint off after these. I scraped it all up in a cup to use as a flow extender or a base on another painting later. If I have just a little bit, then I'll usually let it dry and then pull it up for skins. If I have quite a bit like I do this time, then I will scrape it off while it's still wet.
I love the things you did for me, it seems like you're dropping clues. There's no need to rush, so let's just take our time. Dropping everything, 'cause you're stuck on my mind. So just sit with me.
Touching up my sides, and I did cut part of that out, but I kind of wanted to show, especially for newer people. And with the gallery wrap, sometimes people paint their sides, and I am going to try that, but I had plenty of paint for this, so I knew I could get it coated without much problem, so I elected not to paint it so that the design could kind of go over the side some. But those gallery wraps can be kind of a challenge to coat the sides. I'm planning on doing a cloud swipe triptych for my living room, and that one I probably will paint the sides, so I don't have to worry too much about trying to get enough paint on to coat them, because they're fairly big. I think the middle one is like 24 by 36, and the other ones are like 12 by 36 or 18 by 36 or something. I'm going off memory because I'm not anywhere near the canvases to take a look. They're still wrapped and everything, so I could look, but so I may be off. They may be 24, may be the length, and they may not be quite that wide. I just know the three of them together are pretty big. So once I get the process down how I like it, then I will go ahead and work on that. But I want to make sure I'm confident I can do it and come out with something I like first. And I'm getting ready to show you the close-up. And there it is, just some really pretty pops of color in there, and especially when we get to the other side, and just the sparkle from that dark waters and the gold. I can't hardly wait to see this resin. It's gonna be so pretty. I want us to win the struggle. And see some of those little fine lines of gold there. I think those are some of the prettiest parts. Just absolutely stunning colors. I love it. Look at that. Look at the gold right there. That is just so pretty. And there's a backed out view. That's it for today. Don't forget to like, dislike, share, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you later.
So come back to